Hi there, hope you're having a good day and welcome back to another video. Let's talk about some upcoming basketball shoes, and we got a big one today. Not only because it's a highly anticipated release, but this can also possibly be the last shoe of that signature line. We'll also quickly discuss some other dope shoes that will be dropping in the near future. I have a lot of the newest releases coming up on this channel, so please consider subscribing if you haven't, and let's get started. So we're just gonna get straight into the shoe under the spotlight today, and that is the Nike Kyrie 9. Leaked images have just started to surface on social media, and from what it seems like, this is the main signature line, not a Flytrap or Kyrie Low. Actually, we also now have photos of the Flytrap 6, which I'll talk about later. At first, judging it by the black and white colorway, I thought this shoe just looks kind of cheap. You know, that see-through layer also doesn't really look like a signature shoe. But hey, I noticed that a lot with Nike basketball releases. I don't know if they do it on purpose, but the first few images that we see online usually are a lot worse than the actual shoes when we get them in hand later on. Maybe it's the quality of the photos. Like the PG6, for example, I had a big twist and turn from really hating the look of it to now really liking the silhouette. So yeah, obviously this is still very early on. We should definitely see more photos and information on them. But just given this set of photos, thanks to Kickston on Instagram, I am still at least a little skeptical about how they'll turn out. But let me know how you think the new Kyrie's look down in the comments. My first impression was that it looks like a low top, but given how most of the Kyrie shoes have been, and also the look of it from the back, it should be a similar cut around the ankle, so a mid-top shoe basically. Maybe slightly lower than the Kyrie Infinity, if anything. I do like the swoosh design. It reminds me of the KD13s, where the bottom half of the Nike swoosh is cut off by the midsole. They can make a lot of cool fading colorways with that. And the swoosh extends and wraps all the way to the heel. You can see that there is a Kyrie signature at the back end of the midsole and the Kyrie logo on the tongue. Looks like we'll have Zoom Strobel in the forefoot, and the traction pattern looks pretty promising. It's a very complicated pattern. Materials wise, it looks like a see-through plastic material. There is another layer underneath, but it should be breathable. None of the pretty tumbled leather featured on the Kyrie Infinity this time. Yeah, so is this the Kyrie 9? Sorry, I should say that, are they going to be called the Kyrie 9? I think some are saying that because they skipped the 8, these might be the 8. That'd be funny because I've been calling the Kyrie Infinity Kyrie 8 most of the time. But the Infinity should be the 8, you know? The Infinity sign flipped vertically is the number 8. My guess is that this is the Kyrie 9 for sure. I also wouldn't be surprised at all if they officially name it something else, like instead of the number 8 or 9. So now the more important question might be, is this going to be the last Kyrie shoe that we'll ever see? I think a lot of you have seen the Kyrie post on Instagram last year calling the Kyrie Infinity trash. I mean, you see players not wearing their signature shoes often, but you rarely see a signature athlete publicly criticizing his own shoes and the brand. This might sound crazy, but my personal prediction is that this is it, meaning that I think this might be the last Nike Kyrie shoe ever. Kyrie's contract with Nike ends at the conclusion of the 2022-23 season, so by the release timeline, these should come out later this year by the end of fall, like November-ish. And earlier last month, there were reports on the internet that Nike was considering to not extend their current contract. Again, completely understandable. I would not be surprised at all if Kyrie decides to start his own brand, given his self-proclaimed wisdom and unique mindset. Not quite sure if that really is the mentality that he was supposed to learn from the Mamba. Okay. If this is the end of the line, it's been a great run. My favorites are still the 4s and 5s, and the Kyrie Infinity is also a great performer. You might have seen it in my previous videos. I have like multiple pairs of most of the Kyrie shoes, and normally you just can't really go wrong with a pair of Kyries to hoop in. So really curious to see what happens next, and I'm sure that a lot of you are as well. Okay, with enough said about the Kyrie 9, let's all keep an eye out for more photos and news. Speaking of Kyries, the new Flytrap 6 is also coming up. Honestly, these look more like a Kyrie shoe than the Kyrie 9, because usually you can just immediately tell that it is a Kyrie silhouette. This one really reminds me of the Flytrap 3, and the Flytrap line in general, among other budget shoes, is the one that I see most often on the outdoor courts. Like, they're a very popular shoe actually. We also now have photos of the Lebron Witness 7. Just like many other budget shoes, Nike kept the same outsole from the Witness 6, I believe. Same exposed air units and midsole caging. The upper looks like a knit material, should be a solid budget option, but again, just very similar to the previous version. And since the last time I talked about them, by now we've seen more and much better photos of the Jordan 37. Some on-feet looks of it too. I'm just gonna let you guys be the judge on how they look now that we have official images. The Jason Tatum colorway, inspired by his tattoos, those are actually slowly changing my opinion on the silhouette. I'm sure we're gonna get many dope colorways. Again, it looks like a pretty elevated shoe with that thick foam, and I'll soon be able to try out the Formula 23 foam first on the Luka ones. My pair is on the way. The Jordan 37 should release in early October, according to what I saw online. Other than these ones that I mentioned in this video, there are definitely a lot more on the calendar, like the Zoom Freak 4, GT Cut 2, Lebron 20, Cosmic Unity 2, and so on. All of these, we're starting to see more and more photos about them. Jimmy Butler is getting a signature shoe with Li Ning, it seems like. And yeah, lots of hoop shoes to be excited about. Again, I really want to know your thoughts on the Kyrie 9s or your predictions on what's going to happen with Kyrie's contract with Nike. So let me know in the comments. That's it for this one. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.